Hey everybody, welcome to week 7 of Discovering Spring. Miss Kristen, you're dressed a lot like you were in week 6, I have to say.
I don't know what you're talking about, Mr. Tom.
Well, you look very familiar, same like everything. All right, well anyway, I digress. So you guys, it may look sunny today when we're talking to you for week 7, but we're actually going to be talking about spring rain today, you guys. And April showers bring
May flowers.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking all about rain. Who likes the rain that lives at the Discovery Zone and who doesn't? All right, and why the leaves help us protect us from the rain. All right, so Miss Kristen, are you ready to get started with our story?
I am ready. Alrighty, so you guys, today our story is the rainy day. It's raining right now. Can you believe it? All right. The rainy day. Big dark clouds are hiding the sun. It looks like it's going to be a rainy day. I don't know about you guys, but I actually really love rainy days too. I love watching a thunderstorm. Have you ever wondered what clouds are made of? Sometimes they look as if you could cuddle them. But really, they're nothing but wispy mist. Clouds are made of lots and lots of teeny tiny water droplets. That's pretty cool. Inside the clouds, the water drops grow bigger and bigger. After a while, they grow so big and so heavy, they fall right out of the sky and it starts to rain. Just like now, from the sky. The rain falls softly at first. Birds huddle in the trees to keep their feathers dry. Other animals hop and creep and crawl away to hide. Then, all at once, it pours and pours. The rain makes puddles on the ground. Splish, splash, splash. It is pretty fun to jump in rain puddles. Snails like being out in the rain. Wriggly worms love getting wet. Frogs come out to hop about and splash in the puddles. So some of the animals seem to love it and some not so much. Plants like the rain too. Rain trickles into the soil. Thirsty plants suck it up through their roots. Ooh, I spy a couple worms.
We talked about that, right?
Yeah, the worm tunnels. Oh, there's one coming up. And then we have...
That's what Otto did, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then we have some bunnies, mama and baby bunny. The sun peeps out from behind the clouds and shines through the falling rain. A beautiful rainbow appears in the sky. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. That's a beautiful rainbow. As the rain stops, the rainbow gently fades away. The clouds float across the sky. The ground has turned into squishy mud. Squish, squish. Oh, and we see the bird. We know that the worms like to come up when it's raining, right? Just like this one is done and the bird's coming in, because we know birds need to eat too. 1,000 tiny raindrops sparkle in the grass, and little birds take baths in the puddles. The warm sunshine dries up all the rain. Slowly, the puddles get smaller and smaller until they are all gone. It looks like it's going to be a sunny afternoon. And that's how it goes sometimes, right? It can go from pouring rain, and then a little bit it can be sunny again.
All right, you guys, so today on our walk, we're gonna do a little more exploring than we did in our last class. So we're gonna roll some logs, we're gonna look for snails and worms and even froggies and salamanders. So like we've done in a lot of our classes, and I know a lot of you who I've seen come here have been doing this too, just gonna make sure that our hands are free of any kind of soaps or hand sanitizer that might make some of our animals sick. And that's a good idea for this class.
All right.
And we'll try to figure out if we find some of our critters, whether or not they would like the rain or not. We can discuss how the rain helps the Discovery Zone, and really in different ways. In some ways we talked about last week, and then in some ways we didn't talk about last week. So we're gonna head to our vernal pools first, okay?
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna touch the rock to get started here. And it feels a little bit like last week, Miss Kristen. And you're dressed a little bit like last week, so there
Yeah?
may be a coincidence there.
I agree.
But not a lot of sun on the rock right now because the clouds are coming in and out.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk a lot about the clouds on this walk and what's in those clouds.
Yeah, so do you guys remember from the story what the cloud is made of? Because even though, remember how we talked about they look really cuddly, like you could just cuddle them, but they're actually filled with misty water drops forming. So definitely not as cuddly as they may seem.
Yeah. And when they get filled up enough with enough of those water drops, what happens, Miss Kristen?
That's of course when it starts to rain.
Yeah.
And like I mentioned during the story, I actually love the rain. I love a rainy day, love watching a thunderstorm. I know it's so important for the plants and the animals that like it, so I love the rain. What about you, Mr. Tom?
I do too, and I think if you guys don't mind the rain and Mom and Dad don't mind the rain, I definitely think one of your classes you should come out here on a nice warm rainy day,
Yeah?
because you will definitely see different animals like to come out in the rain, other animals who probably are hiding anyway, like Scaredy Squirrel. He hides anyway when we're out here because he gets scared. Do you think he likes the rain, Miss Kristen?
I don't think so. You know, now that I'm thinking about it, a lot of times when I see it raining and I look in my backyard, I don't really see the squirrels out playing in the rain, right? So I don't think that the squirrels are big fans of the rain.
No. So, but we might be more likely to see wormies,
Yeah.
and if it's not pouring rain, they don't like pouring rain because they can't swim. But we saw snails in the story. Miss Kristen found a snail, and I know she's been working on her humming ever since week 1. And you know, maybe we'll find another snail today. We're gonna roll
Mr.
all
Tom
those
can do
logs.
the humming this day.
Ooh. I heard a lot of good reviews about your humming. Maybe we'll just stick with Miss Kristen.
Or Miss Erin.
Yeah, Miss Erin has a very good singing voice. Maybe we should let her hum. Miss Erin, do you want to hum for us right now?
No, thank you.
Okay.
Politely decline.
All right, you guys. We are at our vernal pools. And I know we talked about vernal pools a few weeks ago, Miss Kristen. Do you want to just sort of explain again what they are?
Yeah, absolutely. So we talked about the difference between a vernal pool and a pond, right? And one of the main differences is that the ponds have water all year round. So there's always water in ponds. So things like fish are able to swim there, right? Because we know that fish need water at all times. But a vernal pool is different in the fact that sometimes it dries up. And that's why we have creatures like tadpoles and frogs and salamanders, because you know they are able to be both in the water and then they're able to survive in the land as well.
So I have a question, Miss Kristen, and honestly, I'm not sure what the answer is, but I think you will know. Does it seem like there's more water when we started our classes or less water now? Or about the same?
Maybe more.
You think more?
Yeah.
We've had a lot
We've
of
had
rain.
a lot of rain, right? So the rain kind of fills up the. Yeah, I would say maybe a bit more.
I thought a little less because I thought it was actually up to the rocks over there, but I could be wrong. But so Miss Erin, Miss Kristen, you see some tadpoles? You want
Yeah,
Miss Erin
I
to get a
see.
picture of those?
Yeah, Miss Erin, I see some tadpoles right there. Oh, perfect. The sun's coming out a bit. Oh, same thing. There's a bunch over here. Kind of in the sun. And we also see that kind of green, fuzzy, slimy looking stuff, right? And that's algae, right? That's what the tadpoles feed on.
Well, I'm gonna look for a froggy. I just saw one right there. I would
yeah.
not have been able to get him without a net, though. He is too far. Now I'm gonna sneak around here. And I'm gonna try to be really quiet. Sometimes I like to stay.
Oh, let's talk about what. Remember, we did that lesson of what a good trick is to sneak up on frog is to come from the back, right? Because we learned that they can't turn their heads. So you have to sneak up quietly from behind them, which is probably what Mr. Tom's trying to do.
I do not see anyone, though. There was definitely one over there. I'll take a little walk back there. But you guys, we know that this vernal pool will start to, the water will start to disappear as it gets warmer and warmer. So, Miss Kristen, where does this water go? Does it just disappear completely, or where does some of this go?
Right, so it's pretty interesting. So a lot of this water actually evaporates. And I don't know if you guys have learned that word before, but basically it kind of turns into a mist and goes back up to the clouds.
Yeah, like a vapor.
Yeah, turns into a vapor, or maybe like, I guess a mist kind of. So, and then it goes up, right? So some kind of probably seeps into the ground and dries up. And then
helps,
some of it.
And does what to help? What did we talk about last week, you guys? What comes out in the springtime?
The leaves, yeah, it goes into the roots, right? It goes down so that the plants can grow.
Right.
But then some of it evaporates back up to the sky. That's part of the water cycle.
And guys, what do you think when the water gets, those vapors go higher and higher? Do you think it gets warmer or colder up there into the sky?
I think it probably gets colder.
It gets colder up there, right? And so those vapors, when they start to get cold, they turn back into water again.
Right.
And that's called condensation. Now, you don't have to remember this, you guys. That's a big word, evaporation and condensation. But that's what happens. The water, when it gets up into the sky, or the vapors, it turns back into water. And then what were you reading about, Miss Kristen? What happens then?
Yeah, so it starts to rain then. And that's the last step called precipitation, right? If it's raining or if it's snowing, that's called precipitation. So basically, like Mr. Tom said, you don't have to remember it, but it is pretty interesting that the water from here evaporates, and then condensation is when it turns into the water droplets, and then precipitation is when it falls down or it rains. So pretty cool. You'll learn that in science class in a couple years.
And then the final part is collection, and that's what we're looking at.
Okay.
The water all collects. So that's the water cycle, you guys. So how did this vernal pool then, if it dried up, how did it refill up, Miss Kristen?
Yep, so a lot of rain, right? Probably a lot from the rain, and I know this was a bit back, but also, and we didn't get too much snow this winter, but normally it snows and then the snow melts, and that's another way that fills up the vernal pool.
So how are our tadpoles looking? Because I didn't come to this side. Oh, yeah.
They're looking lively.
They are packed over here.
I know.
Yeah, they're looking good. Do they look a little bigger? I think they do.
I think a little bit.
And like Miss Kristen said, if you come here and it's a sunny day, that'll be the better time to see the tadpoles here.
And the algae.
Yeah, they'll be hanging out near the algae for sure. Yeah, so the water comes down, the snow melts, the rain comes down, and it doesn't always have to drop right into the vernal pool, right? Because if you see where I'm standing right now, I'm sort of on a hill, right? So sometimes the water will actually just roll into the vernal pool too.
Yeah. Similarly, you guys, if you're in the car with your mom or dad and it's raining, you know, you see the rain droplets roll downwards, right? If you pay attention to the window or the windshield, the droplets roll downward. It's pretty similar here that Mr. Tom standing on a hill, the rain droplets would roll downwards and gather or collect in the vernal pool.
All right, so what do you think, Miss Kristen? Should we start rolling some logs and explore?
Yeah, we can check the cover boards as
I did
well.
check that
Oh,
one,
did
so you
Okay.
can check this one if you'd like. I'll roll this log, this humongous log. I don't see anything here, but we'll keep going.
Yep, I just saw a scurrying beetle, but that's about it.
So would a beetle like the rain, do you guys think? I don't think so. I don't think so, no. A lot of the insects would hide from the rain. Beetle's an insect, right, Miss Kristen?
Yep. How many legs does it have, right? That's one of the good indicators, right? That insects have 6 legs.
All right, so I saw a frog peeking out, so that's a good sign. It's starting to warm up. We'll see more of those, I think, as the weather stays warmer. What about frogs and salamanders? Do they like the rain?
Yeah, so it actually said that in the story as well, if you guys remember. But yes, frogs and salamanders, they are big fans of the rain, right? They live in a watery habitat, right? They love the vernal pool. They love being wet. Alrighty, so you guys, if you remember a couple weeks back, we saw these PVC pipes, right? The frog pipes. And so when you guys come, you can take a peek and see if you guys see anything in them. As of now, I don't really see anything, but I see kind of like a little spider web. And so that's actually a good hiding spot for spiders when it starts to rain, because spiders don't love the rain, so they kind of want to get shelter. So this is a good hiding spot for them. So maybe if you guys do come on a rainy day, you can check that out. And you know, there are 3 of them. So you can
Take a
peek
peek,
in
you
those.
guys.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to keep going down Classroom Court. Now we're going to start to, you can see our mayflowers and bluets that we found last week. Now we're going to do a little more exploration and see if we can find some salamanders this week. I'll try under here. Let's just see what we can find. Maybe find some wormies.
So far we said worms, snails, frogs, salamanders love the rain. And we said that spiders, insects, and squirrels don't love the rain. Is there any more that we can think about? Oh, I think the book said that birds don't love the rain.
It really depends. If
On
it's
the
a
bird.
heavy rain, they don't like it too much, and if they get cold. So I think birds can handle the rain okay. Now guys,
Maybe next time it rains, you guys can look outside and see what animals you see out and about and what animals seem that they're hiding.
Miss Kristen, it sounds like we have some neighbors that are very excited this spring is here. You can hear their motors revving up.
Sounds like it.
Oh, I thought I saw something. Oh yeah.
Oh, let's see if Mr. Tom got something. We'll keep
The
it.
little baby toad.
Oh my gosh.
Look at that.
Very cool. Good one, Mr. Tom.
I thought I saw something hop by me.
That's sure a toad, all right.
If you guys can tell the difference between a toad, now these guys I wouldn't be as worried about with their skin because their skin is really rough and hard and they have less of a likelihood of getting sick with us touching them. They stay dry, so they're not as big a threat, but they eat a lot of the same food that our other frogs do. And what do you think? Would they like the rain?
I think so.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I remember when I was a little kid, I always used to go look for toads when it was raining outside, so I had several pet toads growing up.
I had a feeling we'd see a toad today. We, a couple years ago, used to see a big giant toad back here, so we'll keep looking.
There
Whoopsies.
he goes.
So
Bye-bye,
that
little toad.
is our first toad of the year. I don't think we found a froggy yet. But we will. Maybe not today, but we're gonna find them before too long. Sometimes if you guys don't mind getting your hands a little yucky, you need to kind of look through the leaves too, not just under the log. Now here, generally speaking, you probably don't want to pick these up, but they're pretty cool. These are slugs.
Oh my gosh.
They're big.
So do you guys think slugs like the rain? I bet.
We talk more about slugs usually in the fall, but they're a lot like the snail
Yeah?
that Miss Kristen
Yeah.
was humming to.
And we know that they like to stay pretty moist, right? They always have a little...
Definitely. Yeah, he's slimy. Want to touch him, Miss Erin? Miss Erin said no. Okay, well, I'm going to put them back. They're slimy, and they will kind of stain your hands a little bit, so parents, if you have a hand wipe, that might be good before you... Oh, there's a third one down here.
Slugs galore.
Yeah, this is like a... I don't know if I've ever seen sluggies down here. Okay, we'll be just gentle with that. And hopefully they're okay. All right, so we've seen slugs who like the rain. We've seen a toad that likes the rain. Seen a beetle that doesn't like the rain. Miss
I
Kristen,
checked
check
that
there.
one,
Yep.
yeah.
The birdies generally don't mind the rain unless it gets cold and windy, because then the rain, you know, if it gets in their feathers, that's not good. But by and large, they function pretty well in the rain.
Just for the contrast, this is a much smaller slug. Looks pretty different than Mr. Tom's just because it's so much smaller. Maybe a little baby slug. Alrighty, so you guys, here is a little snail on this piece of bark. And so he's actually already kind of out of his shell. We can see he's latched on there. And so we said that yes, snails do like the rain.
Who's gonna hum?
He's already out, actually, we're safe. Yeah, but we do remember, right, from... Oh, look, you can see his...
Does he like the rain?
Oh, he had his antenna out for a second. But yeah, he's actually already out, so... Yeah, why don't you give him a little spritz?
Sure, because
Yeah.
the snail likes the rain, right?
Yeah, he's moving around. Look at it. Can you see his little antenna?
So Miss Kristen is like the snail whisperer here at the Discovery Zone.
I'm quite pleased he's already out of his... So I think he likes my hand a lot better now that Mr. Tom just gave a little moisture to my hand, a little spritz. Look at his... Oh, how he's looking at the camera. Oh my gosh, yay.
What's he doing?
His antenna have... He's just making himself at home on my hand. He has quite large antenna for just a little snail.
I know we looked for spiders in our
I'll
PVC
put
pipes. We
him
didn't
back
find.
on
Did you
his-
talk about spiders?
Yeah, well, that they're afraid of the rain.
Okay.
One more thing, you can actually, he's leaving a little bit of a snail trail on me, just like slugs leave kind of a slimy trail. This snail is doing just the same, leaving a little path on my hand. All right, so I'm gonna put him back where I found him. Even though he's so cute and I would love to take him home, I'm gonna put him back where he belongs.
All right, now I've got something pretty cool here. So we talked about
Ooh, nice, Mr. Tom.
the aquatic newts that we found in week 3 in the natural vernal pool. Remember those bigger guys? And we talked about how they change colors, and Miss Erin posted a picture. This is a adolescent, or almost looks like a baby red F. Look how cute he is. And look how different his color is than the aquatic newt that we found. So this is a type of salamander, and then when it gets older, these guys will live on land, and then when they get older, they go back into the vernal pool with a totally different color. Scientists don't know exactly why they do that, why they change colors, but this guy, I'm going to try to keep him off of my hands as much as possible because we do not want him to dry up. In fact, he would really like the rain. Sorry, Miss Erin. Yeah, they love the rain and they need to stay moist. So if you guys find one of these, if you can hold them on a leaf, that would be much better. You don't want to have them on your hands for very long at all because they will dry up and they can get sick really easily. But this was a cool little guy to find, and he was just hiding under a log.
Good find, Mr. Tom.
And so, Miss Kristen, we talked about the different ways that animals stay safe. He was hiding, but he also has that colorful body. What do you think he's trying to say to other animals?
I think he's trying to warn some of his prey that, you know, don't eat me or don't bother me because he's probably poisonous or can make them, you know, sick if they were to eat him.
All right, so you guys, we brought our little rain bottle here to show you how in springtime when the leaves come out, they can serve as like an umbrella for you guys when it starts to rain here in the forest. So let's experiment with this, Miss Kristen. I see a little maple tree.
Yep.
Miss Kristen is going to stand under it, and we're going to pretend that it's raining out, and let's see if it helps keep the rain off of her. Let me try over here because I think it's blowing back that way. Are you getting wet?
No,
Not at all?
no.
All right, so let's take a look. Maybe, Miss Kristen, can you bring that leaf, some of the leaves down for us to look at? And let's see
Oh yeah, well,
what happens.
yep. These have a little sparkle to them.
And then why don't you let me
guys can
just,
tell.
and you guys see that? Look what happens. And that would be like a little light rain, right?
Yeah. So like Mr. Tom said, the leaves can really kind of act as an umbrella. But let's be clear, you don't want to come walk through the woods when it's really raining and when there's thunder and lightning. That's very unsafe. But just when it's a nice light rain, it's pretty cool to walk under the trees and see how you can actually stay pretty dry if you're walking under a little canopy of leaves like this.
Very cool. All right, so let's keep exploring, you guys. Oh, I see a little more poison ivy. So it is starting to pop up. Miss Erin, you want to take a, like the leaves of 3?
The spray bottle's the new pointer.
For poison ivy, yes. So make sure you guys are looking really hard before you roll any logs, that there's no poison ivy. Anything that you think might be poison ivy, if you're not sure, just leave it be. Leaves of 3. let it be.
Nothing under here. Pretty dry. And we learned, when we were learning about worms, we learned how sometimes it's good to find a little stick that you can dig a little bit with if you're really going hunting or searching. I know.
So I think we found mostly critters that like the rain so far. And where are our worms, Miss Crystal? I don't see them.
I know, right? Here's one.
Found a wormy?
Uh-huh.
Oh, cool.
There's a worm. He's excited. Want to spritz him, Mr. Tom?
Sure, and I got one too. Oh yeah.
Yeah, see, he loves that. Bye-bye, worm.
And remember, you guys, if you see a worm or a slug or a snail, make sure that you put them back and then under their log or somewhere where the sun won't get to them, because they can dry up. Oh yeah, lots of wormies here, but there is some poison ivy there, so we're going to leave that area alone. I see another wormy.
Oh, wow, look at all these worms.
Yeah, I mean, if you look in the right place, you guys, sometimes you'll get lucky and you'll see a lot of worms. I just saw
Big
an ant.
worm, big worm.
Would ants like the rain, Miss Kristen?
Probably not too much.
No, I don't think so. A lot of worms up here, you guys. Where we found a salamander.
If you guys hear that in the background, that's a woodpecker pecking on the trees. Okay. Well, that was the jackpot for worms, right as we were wondering where they are.
Oh, so should we ask them how to get back?
Great idea. Okay. So we've just come out from classroom court. We see the classroom court there. So to get back to the classroom, or where we do our craft, do you guys have any idea of which way? I don't know. I think I remember going this way to go to the bridge 2 weeks ago. And I think, right, the classroom is the opposite way from the bridge, right? So back this way.
And
Good
back to
job
your
if
car, if you're
Yep.
if you drove here, which you probably did. Yeah.
Good job if you guys guessed that.
All right, we're gonna just keep looking around. I'd love to find a wood frog for you guys today. So maybe I'm gonna just take a little walk. I don't want you guys to do this, but I'm gonna kind of go off trail, Miss Kristen. You can keep rolling some logs, just in case I see something hop here. But we did see a toad, so that's good.
Absolutely.
So once in a while, you just sort of walk around, something will get scared, a froggy, and just hop right in front of you. That's what I'm hoping for. Because remember, you guys, our wood frogs that use the man-made vernal pool, they're gone. They're out of there. They are living on land now. They're smaller, but they generally
are these logs up here? That's where we found the snail a few weeks ago. Snail, yeah. Hi. Nothing under this one.
Did you find your snail, Miss Kristen?
I did not.
Well, we've definitely had a few people that have found
I know.
your snail.
It's
You can still hear that woodpecker.
I know.
Boy, oh boy. We see toads around here too. In fact, you guys, we found toads hiding. If you see these holes in this log that were created by the woodpeckers that you hear in the background, sometimes they actually live. Some of the frogs and toads will sometimes live inside of there. There's like a whole little community probably hiding in here. I don't want to break this up too much. But I think we did pretty good. We found a few different insects, an ant, a beetle, red F, salamander, a toad, both very small. I saw the frog. I don't think anyone else did, peeking out in the man-made vernal pool.
Yeah.
We can hear the birdies, right?
Absolutely.
Someone dropped a pencil. All right, you guys. So, Miss Kristen, what's our craft today?
Oh, guys, we have a really fun craft that you guys can actually use to play with even after we make it. So it's kind of a little cloud, rain, little creation, and you guys can run around with it and pretend that it's raining on
Your brother
your
or
brothers.
sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're gonna play with it too today. All right, so we'll see you at the craft table.
Alrighty, guys. Alrighty, so you guys, we are going to start this craft with this one blue piece of paper. And so we can really decorate this with any weather we would like. Clouds, sun, a rainbow. I'm going to draw mine with some clouds and a rainbow, I think.
Yeah, because we were talking about rain today.
Yep, and I'm inspired by that beautiful rainbow that was in our story. Here's the clouds that look so cuddly, but we know that in reality it's actually filled with rainbows and not quite cuddleable.
Is that a word, Miss Kristen?
Sure is. All right, let's
Cuddleable.
cuddleable. Who knows? Probably not. Nope. I'm not gonna do all the colors, but I'll pick a few of my favorite. I'll always remember the abbreviation Roy G. Biv for the colors of a rainbow. Did you ever learn that?
No.
Roy G. Biv. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Roy G. Biv.
You got that down.
I know. Okay.
Which one is this?
Well, the red didn't have much ink left, so I had to go off the Roy G. Biv scheme.
We won't tell Roy.
All right, let's see. Green.
You guys, you could come out here too, where Miss Kristen and I are right now with Miss Aaron at the classroom where our benches are. And there's just like a lot of activity. I see a couple of chipmunks running around with nuts in their mouth. Birds are back and forth. We have 2 bird feeders here, a bird bath. If you do come here and you see water in like a container, leave that water alone because those are for our birds. They need to drink water. We want to keep that as clean as possible for them. We also, if you see some red feeders, those are for hummingbirds. Miss Kristen found a couple of hummingbirds earlier. They're super cool. They're amazing flyers. They can fly incredibly quickly. But if you come out here, you definitely might be able to see some hummingbirds too this time of year. And our butterfly garden is starting to come in really nicely. I see a squirrel running through it now. So there's just a lot going on over here where it's a little quieter from the front of the trails.
Yep. Okay, I'm actually gonna draw a little sun in the corner too.
There goes that chipmunk. Wow. And the chipmunks sometimes, you guys, they live in the stone walls. That could be their home. Looks like that's where he's headed. He's got a big nut in his mouth. He's gonna have a nice lunch.
Nope. All right. And we know that inside these clouds there's some rain droplets forming. So these are just the little rain droplets, and then these will be the bigger ones. Okay, so this is what my drawing looks like.
Very nice.
So we got some clouds, a sun, the rainbow of course, and some droplets forming. Okay, so now what we're going to do, you guys, is we're going to flip this over. So put the picture facing down, and we're going to tape on our raindrops, or rain streams, I guess.
Or you could use, Miss Kristen, you might want to use
The
glue stick for that.
Okay. This one did it with tape, so I wasn't sure.
Did it?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So this should hold. So we're gonna glue on some rain. And we don't want to overlap them. We actually want to leave just a teeny bit of space because we're gonna end up kind of rolling this. So we want to leave some space. They are glued down. Okay. So it should look like this. And you can see that I've left some space in between each of the streamers. So now what we're going to do is we're going to curve it like so, and we're going to put a big piece of tape down this. And so you might need somebody to help you with this, but
Do you need help, Miss Kristen?
let's see. I will let you know.
Maybe you can prep your tape, and then you probably want to put one on the outside and inside, one or two.
Yeah.
On the outside and inside.
Okay, so I am going to just put one for the outside. And one for the inside. Yep, so we'll see how many we need.
There are so many chipmunks out here, you guys. I'm watching Miss Kristen, of course, do her craft, but I'm also in the background. There are a lot of happy chipmunks right now. And they're busy. We talked about that last week. This is a busy time.
Yeah?
For our critters that live here at the Discovery Zone.
Okay. So we're going to tape just down where the two pieces of paper come together. And I'm going to do one piece of tape also for the inside. Okay.
This is quite an operation.
I know, definitely you guys will need a little bit of help with the taping, which is fine. Okay, so now it should look like this, right? So we have our rain coming down, we have our picture on the outside, and then what we're going to want to do is we're going to hole punch and attach the yarn. So just on opposite sides, we're going to do one hole punch on one side and one on the other. Again, you might want mom or dad to help you with this part.
Definitely.
Yeah. And then attach the yarn, or push the yarn through and through the other end, and we can tie a knot. This is our last step.
And then you guys get to play with it.
That's right. So that's our craft, isn't it fun? So it's our little makeshift rain. And now I think Mr. Tom is gonna come after me with his spray bottle.
Maybe. Let's see Miss Kristen run with that so you guys can see how cool these are. Look at that, blowing
I'll
in
run
the
this way.
wind. Woo! And you guys can run over maybe your mom or dad or brother or sister.
You don't even need to run really if it's windy.
raining, right? But that's the real rain, right? You don't need to get anyone really wet. You can just pretend. That's very cool.
And maybe you can hang it up in your room outside, watch it fly. Very cool. Love this craft.
All right, you guys. So Miss Kristen, next week, where are we going? Do you know?
No.
Vernal pools.
Next week we are going to the
We're
vernal
going
pools.
in. Oh yeah, we're gonna
boy.
go in. We should find some froggies for you guys to see next week. I'm excited. I look forward to it.
Me as well. And I hope you guys do too.
All right, you guys, have a great week. We'll see you next week.
Bye guys.